And actually we're between two islands, and island to starboard here is Bonerate. Unfortunately, because of an earthquake, this whole thing, the reef was all redeposited. I don't know, just heard. Kind of frightened me, but they're dynamiting for fish right at the pass we just came through. We just came through there in our dinghy. I guess that's the lazy man's way of fishing. We thought we had a hole in the boat. It seemed so close. We felt the impact, but just a stick of dynamite. Well, I guess we're not quite environmentally pure here either. They're pulling up plenty of fish. Well, I guess I've got to eat. Well, we did an overnight sail from Bonerate, the boat building site, the island of Bonerate, to Labuan, Bajo, which is a little fishing village, and this is the boat yard. It's amazing how different each of these boat building facilities are. This is, I don't know whether you can see that. This is the machine shop in Labuan, Bajo. Furniture factory, launch site, fishing fleet. We'll get a better shot of that. This area is extremely arid, and we're only, the overnight was about 110, 120 miles southwest. But surprising how dry this. We're at the end of Flores right now, the western end of Flores, and just no water here. Just amazing. Again, Labuan Bajo, fishing fleet. It's amazing to me how different the craft are. We're only a few miles from the Sulawesi group, and this is just a completely different kind of boat here. Different fishing techniques. Great little harbor.
See, but off in the distance is a little boat along with towing a 44-gallon drum. He's got one on his bow. He's going to make a circle around Flying Creek and then come on up, and we are getting fuel today. And I'll continue with it slowly, but anyway, thanks to this gentleman that's up here, Hans. He organized this whole thing. They're on the bow, the three men, Hans and Rodney and Jim, ready for fuel to arrive. And I will take a break now, but when they come in with the boat, we'll take another picture in for a landing now. Yeah, I wonder. They've arrived. And we'll get the operation going in a minute.
That big flag, the tin shed. Yeah. Square tin shed, that's it.
They just very nicely put the 44-gallon drum on their bow, not ours, and have a hand pump, and we pump her in. And
That's it, Miss Cherry Can.
not quite like the good old US of A. I'll continue a little. Finish the thing. And there off they go.
Well, I don't want to talk. We'll wake them up. but that's a Komodo dragon.
Great camouflage, aren't they?
Yeah. About 8 feet long.
Yeah. I would never have seen that if I'd been a mom. Would never have seen that.
Well, we're not on Komodo, Rinca, at a game preserve on a trek with a guide, and early in the morning, and that's a Komodo dragon.
Oh, you're allowed to go closer.
Well, I'm glad there's a little breeze, otherwise we wouldn't know he was alive. At least the grass moves.
This one. But the big one, we call the big one. This big one, but not until 3 meters.
Poor guy, he's got to get up and go.
Somebody's packs down there. Yes, you're going to rummage in there in a minute. I've seen it too. You see the tongue sticking out?
Yeah.
Okay, follow, if you want to know. Follow.
Well, they are the oldest. Aren't they the oldest? The oldest.
They live on small deer, sometimes big deer, eat once a week. This guy is an average size. But I guess a deer is enough for 1 week. And there are quite a few here on Rinca and Komodo, the only place in the world where these prehistoric animals still live, apparently. They can't be hunted here. I think some of the natives still eat them. This island, this is a game preserve, and a number of monkeys, eagles, water buffalo, wild turkeys. Quite interesting. Dragon. Yeah. Just soaking up the sun. We probably won't disturb him.
From here.
That's our guide from Unja.
Today,
Yeah.
you can find the dragons here. Sometimes we cannot find around here.
Uh-huh.
Just around there, and then sometimes over there. Only one time I found here, but run.
Oh.
Hard to see him though. If you take this picture, you'd say, what is that?
Seen the same to your mother.
Hard to imagine they bring down a good-sized deer and a buffalo, but apparently they do. I mentioned this before. We're in Indonesia still, and we're on a little island west of Flores called Rinca, right next to Komodo, and it's a game preserve. And we've got a guide, and we're just looking at the local fauna, which includes monkeys and dragons and water buffalo, deer. Quite a pretty spot. It's amazing how dry this island is, these islands, compared to those in the north, Sulawesi area, which we've just left. Only 100 miles. No, I guess it's about 200 miles north, but they're lush around Sulawesi, very tropical, humid, and this climate, as you can see, is very dry. No rain here. Lovely spot, though. Very interesting. Friendly people. Well, it's an evening in Indonesia. No people, but my bride and I. We are on Rinca, next to Komodo, with flying free and no one else. I hope the sun doesn't block out this scene, but And I hope you can hear the whispering trees. But it's a magnificent scene. Not too crowded, not too shabby. Just saw a Komodo dragon on the way out. Have to be careful. They are fairly dangerous, so we walk with good-sized sticks. We just dropped the hook a little while ago. We haven't. We got a bit of a head start on Roland and Marlis. Don't know whether you can spot them down there on the beach. Look like dots. Maybe I can come in. I think I see them on the lens. Yeah. Well, we expect to spend a couple of days just in this area. There are probably 15 bays like this in this large bay. Wind died down a bit. It was up to 40. There's a Venturi effect that comes in over the hills, and the land warms it and accelerates it so that late afternoon it blows pretty hard, but we're in a good spot here. We came in that way. Around from the game preserve we've been walking on. Lovely spot. Indonesia is just a terribly exciting place. People lovely, friendly, interesting, and I think we'll enjoy this because there's no one around. Now the area just at the bottom of us between our boats and ourselves is looks like a great reef, and so tomorrow we will set up the hooker rig and spend the morning and afternoon cleaning the bottom and diving. It should be superb. You don't see reefs like this. Indonesia has had the most beautiful coral reefs I've ever seen. Just amazing. Now we haven't explored the Flores area, but I must believe they're spectacular because they haven't been discovered yet. I've been told the best diving in the world is in some of the remote areas of Indonesia, completely undiscovered. Well, we'll discover it tomorrow. We'll have some more later. Had a good time climbing around here. We each carry big sticks because the water buffalo and bucks and Komodo dragons don't like us. So we're told you can, not supposed to walk around without a guide, but you can carry them off with a big stick. Haven't seen any that close. Well, we're still on Rinca. We're in a different bay exploring, been here a few days, just exploring some of these areas, mountains, trails, and Komodo dragons. Just beautiful, beautiful area here. Not too crowded. You do have to be careful. Apparently there are a greater variety of poisonous snakes in Indonesia than any place in the world. A lot of coral, good snorkeling, a lot of anchorages. Didn't have much trouble keeping the entire fleet of Saugatuck in this area for about a month. Goes on and on back in here. We're still exploring and can't stop taking pictures. It's just so gorgeous here. This just goes on and on. This Rinca is just magnificent. Loads of deer, monkeys, eagles, sea eagles, or fish hawks.
Blue herons.
Blue herons, big blues, fish, oysters, Tons of coral, untouched. Well, we're still in Indonesia. We're on an island called Banta, and not far from Komodo, off the coast of Sumbawa. See if I can get this focused, so I'll quit for a second. Give it a try again. Every time I hit the grass, it's been a hell of a climb up to the top of this hill. But in any event, this is a boat named Walkabout from Australia, young couple we've been sailing with on and off, did the Ambon race with them. This is a gorgeous island, by the way. Light breeze, it shouldn't be too bad tonight. And I'll just step up and get a little different view from here. Yeah, let me get to a little higher ground. Well, as we swing around, that's Komodo, the island we just left, much larger than the one we're on. And this is another bay that we are in, the mighty sea shanty. We spent the afternoon diving in this bay, and it was just gorgeous. Just gorgeous. We're with two other boats, Enigma, an Australian engineer recently retired from Nabalco, a big Swiss consortium, and Aradana from New Zealand. Needless to say, it's another beautiful anchorage. I'm feeling a bit old after the climb.
If we wait till the tide goes out, we probably could walk right on later.
I think you're right. And that's the mighty sea shanty a little closer. Well, the battery's flashing again, so we're almost out. So I'll call it quits for a minute. I know I had this shot before. Walkabout is anchored just in the spot where we spent a good part of the afternoon diving. It's about 20 feet deep, maybe 25, with just gorgeous coral and sea life all around. And you can see that deep, fairly deep path cut in the middle. They could have come back in here, and it opens up a bit more with the beach back to the right. And then pretty good protection around to the north. I don't know whether you can hear the native diesels, but there are 3 native fishing boats, one headed into the harbor here, or into this little bay. Can't say enough about Indonesia. Fantastic. Great, great. I wish they had a little more wind at the right times. The problem is at night, bullets, they call them bullets, gusty winds to 30 knots come down off these mountains and into the harbors as a result of a Venturi effect over the land. And it takes some getting used to, but a lot of currents out here too. But beautiful, beautiful area. Yeah, he must be, he's pulling a net. Yeah, that's an area we went through and explored in the dinghy today. More gorgeous coral. Took the diving gear in there and tramped around that island. And we're now at the island, the northwest corner of Lombok, not too far from Bali. Tried to anchor at a place called Gili, and had strong winds, no cover. In any event, this is a little fishing village. We've been ashore poking around, and we've made arrangements with one of the fishermen to take us to Gili. It's that yellow boat, I think, right there. Yeah, see if I can zero in on him. That's the taxi we'll have, and he'll take us over Oh, it's a couple of miles across the way. We'll spend the day, try to get a bite. It's a resort of some sort there, we've heard. And then we'll come back. And then tomorrow push on down the western coast of Lombok, or take a BMO into a couple of towns there and walk around. We'll see what goes. Yeah, they're on their way out. They're going to take us over and back, wait for us, and they'll be waiting about 6 or 7 hours, I guess. And the deal is 35,000 rupiahs. Well, there's about 2,200 rupiah per US dollar, so looked like a bargain to us. 6 of us all together. Swiss boat, flying free. Enigma from Australia, and Sue and I. But we'll see what happens. It's supposed to be 6 of us in here, but we'll make it somehow. We've got a captain and crew, and 3 mamas and 3 guys. But we'll see what happens.
Maybe easier on this.
We're on Gili right now, looking north. Came over for the day. Quite a nice little resort island, and this is a typical fisherman's dugout. We see hundreds at night. They fish at night here with Coleman-type lanterns, and they jig, and they're all just very similar. Surprising. You go to an island like this, and these boats are almost identical on this island, and then you'll go 30 miles away, and it'll be quite a different story, different boat, 1 outrigger instead of 2, and different kind of a rudder. It's just amazing. Almost identical, big rudder. I don't know whether I pointed out the anchor. I can't see it through this video, but they're made of wood and stone, these anchors. See if I can get a look at her. These guys are out. They go out about 11 at night, come back at 5 or 6 in the morning, and catch sardine-like fish. Not many fish, surprisingly. They fish in a big straight line. You'll see 50 to 100 boats, 30 or 40 feet apart. Very unusual. You hear them talking to one another out there. Water taxi. They run back and forth to the mainland, and there are a bunch of them I'll get a picture of on the other end of this island. This is a nifty little resort island, very inexpensive. You can stay in these cabins for anywhere between $10 and $40 a night, and some are quite nice. In terms of rupiah, there are 2,200 rupiah to $1, so the numbers thrown around sound very large. Everything's hundreds of thousands of dollars, but really it's not much. We're headed back to Lombok, I think, after a day's work. These are pearl farming operations out here. Quite a nice operation. Main beach on Gili. Where we came in, we walked all the way around the island. Seemed like about 30 miles. I'm sure it was only about 6. Pretty spot. Well, we've stopped at a Hindu temple, and we'll get some more pictures. We're on Lombok, rented a BMO, and we're touring down toward a recreational. A good deal more of this as we get closer to Bali, but these little delicately prepared offerings are in all the temples and houses as we go along here, and daily they are set up as an offering to various gods. Entrance to the temple. Quite a lovely sight here. Then this whole coast is just magnificent. A large number of luxury hotels just about to go up in Lombok in this area. Just overwhelming. So I can't imagine this will last long, but it's amusing to see the mix of the local fishing activities, and just around that corner, Holiday Inns and Park Royal hotels all under construction. I have a feeling this is going to change fast. Or these little temples within the temple where offerings take place daily. Quite a spectacular sight. Yeah, each
Ja, es sind etwa 18 Jahre Zeit, das sind die Leute, die sehr stark
Well, maybe this is a little like visiting chateaus in Europe. The first couple are overwhelming, but this is certainly overwhelming. Maybe the last 10 temples will be ho-hums, but really fascinating. A whole different approach than what we Westerners are accustomed to. And everything is a small, beautiful sacrifice and delicate little saying, very upbeat. We're in Sweden in a marketplace, and there aren't a lot of tourists. Roots, all kinds of stuff. Like the egg area. Standard mode of transportation. Oh,
Take his picture.
I got his picture. Picture.
Tunggu bicara dulu Operator, biar busuk bagaimana masih resiko saya.
Garlic
Tell whether
country.
it's onion or
Or onion, I don't know.
Ayo.
Mm.